Okay, hello everybody. Um, this will be a little different because I'm the one who will be doing this program um, to assist with the Global Climate Change Conference. I will not have music in the background. It's a bit too much for me to handle right now. So um, I just want to advance a few slides so you can see them. And I want to welcome our 25 or so participants. Others will come along. And Michael, just take a look at. Um, there's one that says Zipporah, but it's got a lot of A's following it. So I don't know what happened there, but I just want to welcome. I'm very grateful for Michael's presence because he keeps me on track here. And welcome Anne and Anna. Well, let's see, how do we do this? They're pronounced in English Anne. So Ann Peterson, Ann Parker, welcome. And Annette, welcome. And Salandria, hi, welcome to you. And Francois, welcome. Frederick Andres, nice to see you. Frederick, Frederick is one of those people that really helps us when conference time comes along, and his knowledge is extensive. So, welcome, Frederick, and Georgina, and Heike. Hi. And it says, yeah, Odile. Welcome, Odile, and Joan. Hi. And Yoke, welcome to you, and Karen. Always nice to see some of you are simply regulars, and I look forward to seeing you. Um, Maria Rosa from Spain, welcome to you. And Mariana from Sweden, hi, welcome. And we have, let's see, I've got to, yeah, Nesa, hi Nesa, welcome to you. And Tia, uh, another regular, okay. And Vivian, hi. And Yvonne, always there, thank you, Yvonne. Good to see you. And Ivenica, um, and Zipporah, we've got you now in a different way. And Catherine, hi. Oh gosh, we've got a lot of Zipporahs. Well, welcome all of you. And if you can tolerate the way I do this, it may not be quite what Tuya can do, but she unfortunately cannot be with us at this moment. And it usually takes two or three of us to get this thing going. So, sorry. At least I have a voice, and which is a little different from how it has been for a few days. Um, Now I'm just going to let's see. We're in the Ask project, of course. I'm just running a few slides here, and hopefully you see them quite clearly. Um, Basically, I've been doing a lot of work on telepathy. What a wonderful book, and well, not an easy book. And every day or so, I do a new chapter or a new program on telepathy where now beginning number 20. But uh, basically, what's being said here is the great science of invocation and evocation will be the modus operandi of the science of impression. So it looks kind of like an easy thing to invoke and evoke, but it is germane to the science of impression and to the supreme science of contact. It's the method by which we work, and it is a developing science. Um, well, the climate change is crucial, and that's what we're working on now. It in many ways, it seems like a kind of sorry, last chance for humanity, and it has to be treated as such. If you look at the head of the UN and what he is saying, you see that it has to be taken with the utmost seriousness. So that's our project for the next 10 or 11 days, something of that. We'll keep that going along with a few other things. Um, like I say, we're always grateful when it's possible to contribute not only your presence, which is the main thing really, but tangibly as well in terms of donations. It really helps. And let's just say, think about what you would invoke on behalf of climate change correction as we think about humanity and our planet as a whole. You might be writing out a few sentences which esoterically help to reorient humanity. I'm sorry that I cannot speak in the Finnish, but well, those of you who are Finnish and sorry, do not speak English per se, at least there's something here to read. Okay. Well, here's what it looks like when predictable Earth changes, and let's think about it for a minute. They are predictable. DK says we are all going through on this planet a kind of fourth initiation with many uh, changes in the shape of things. Maybe California will not be so much California as it will be the California islands. It has been sometimes predicted. But, okay, there will be earth changes. There will be changes because of winds and waves, and but let's just say, how much is humanity adding to that? How much that is avoidable in terms of its extremity is humanity, through its carelessness, its selfishness, its ignorance, adding to the worsening of the effects that we will naturally expect when a planet is going through a great change. And unfortunately, it's quite a bit. And that's why, what was it that was coming up just yesterday, was it? Um, we have 3 something years until the Great Conclave. We have almost 100 years to the technical, astronomical beginning of the age of Aquarius, and we have 8 years after which, if things are not rectified in terms of humanity's footprint on the climate, it will be disastrous for the human race, and I suppose for the kingdoms that are found as under the human race, for which humanity is the macrocosm. We don't want to let it get to that point, and unfortunately, we find that um, changes of a non-beneficial kind are happening more rapidly than expected. So we're not there. We're not there in the UN Climate Change Conference, but esoterically we can be there. Um, Science has to prevail, and not politics, and not religion, and not selfish economics. When you combine the sixth ray and the third ray, you can have a lot of trouble, because one of them rules the kind of capitalism which has emerged, according to the Tibetan, emerged and wrecked the world. Now, you know, that wreckage of the world, think about it. It could be real wreckage. It could be inhabitability of so many areas that had a population, and migrations, and political conflicts, and religious um, I don't know what I should call them, but religious exemptions from real responsibility, because the false ideals are believed. So our task is to take very seriously the predicament that we are in at the moment. We, humanity, have ignorantly engineered this predicament, and the least we can do is take responsibility for the dire situation in which we have thrown ourselves. Now, a lot of people, of course, they just don't want to do that and DK has warned, when you let power exalt itself over love, you're going to have a real problem. So that's the first and second ray in context and in con. Um, what's my word? Competition. So when you combine in an unhealthy way first ray politics, third ray economics, sixth ray narrow religion, how do you rectify the situation? Now that's our task esoterically, to find a way to contribute esoterically to the rectification of the situation and not to the potential wreckage. There's a lot of difference between rectification and wreckage. So here is the conference. It's been going now, well, I guess it started yesterday, but there was pre-work being done and all kinds of work being done other than the high-sounding speeches which are being given. About 2 weeks of intense diplomatic negotiations by almost 200 countries and territories, how to tackle the common challenge of global warming. And I'm talking about the warming to which humanity is contributing, not the kind of heating up of the planet which may accompany an initiatory cycle such as we are passing through at the moment. This great meeting, I guess we're all kind of holding our breath as to its outcome, because it cannot be business as usual. We'll try to resolve issues left hanging from the 2015 Paris Climate Accord, since that was forged. Now just imagine the ignorance within the, let's just use the United States, where in the former very selfish, narcissistic president took us right out of the Paris Accords and said, we're not going to be part of that. Of what could he possibly be thinking? Well, the answer is always the same. Only of himself, and there's more of that potentially coming. So this battle for democracy in the United States and in other places, by imitation, can worsen, already has worsened, the effectiveness of the climate accords. So we have to keep scientifically, we have to keep global temperatures from rising by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. It's about 2.7 Fahrenheit. And from all indications, that augmentation of temperature is proceeding too rapidly, more rapidly than predicted. So even though we're not there, we are part of this accord. This 2021 United Nations Climate Accord, Glasgow, Scotland, is also known as COP26, and it is the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference. Now the young people, they know that the adults, so-called adults, are not working responsibly. When you look at some of the gatherings of the people outside the place where the accords are being held, you see all kinds of signage which shows that the young people, a great majority of them, are more aware. I mean, what will they say? What will they do if we, the older people, steal their future through our negligence and selfishness and lack of political will to act? It's if you want to talk about crimes against humanity, that's a big one. You can hardly conceive of a bigger crime than to force humanity to begin again, as DK warns could happen for a number of reasons. So, our participation is critical. Well, for a little while we have Mars, a planet of great initiative, in a sign in Scorpio, where you just finally have to take action, and a symbol from the old Chaldean Sabian symbols, which says a house raising party in a small village enlists the neighbors' cooperation. And the keynote is the feeling of community demonstrated in a basic joint effort. Now, Mars doesn't stay there forever, but at the very beginning, that's the idea. We come together to help each other, to do something really constructive on behalf of our precious planet. Our planet, we may know, is the base of the spine, center of our solar logos, the major base of the spine, center. The planet itself, well, we're a long way from seeing the destruction of the planet, but the destruction of present-day humanity and of the kingdoms of nature and of the falling out of harmony of the many relations which are created through the process of emanation, these things sadly could also occur. So if you have that book um, on the Sabian symbols by Dane Rudhyar, um, read up on the third degree of Scorpio. And it all gets summed up in the key word of cooperation. Finally and at last, cooperation. And that, of course, is a very necessary, at this time, extremely necessary. So let's see, I want to be in the right place. Well, anyway, the different Sabian symbols are said to be part of an ancient Chaldean treasure trove of a deep understanding of the energies of each degree of the zodiac. And they can be very indicative for us. Well, that's the background, friends, and you know it. I know it, and we have to do something about it. So let us meditate, aligning with the world group and calling upon the help of those higher beings, those higher points of tension. A being and a point of tension are really the same thing. We ask to be impressed by their knowledge and their capabilities so that we can begin to help people think in a cooperative way which does not wreck certain aspects of our beautiful planet, including the kingdom of humanity, which we have been warned, if there is a shambolic war, which has never yet been entirely the case, humanity could go down down to its roots, and all the adjustments between the kingdoms be um, destroyed in terms of their appropriateness. So indeed, friends, we, though we're not the officials at the great conference here, we are responsible. We are responsible. And we maybe can realize that right relations depends upon the right relations between a series of triangles. Triangles which begin, as far as we're concerned, they go further, but okay, on the logoic plane and go to the monadic plane and go to the atmic plane and the Buddhic plane, um, go to Letters on Occult Meditation, I think it's page 39, and you will see all the different triangular groups in which we find a kind of home until it comes down to our head center, our ajna center, and our throat center. Those will be the three final centers that will lead to the externalization of the plan and not the ruination of the plan for humanity. So here's an exemplification of three great beings, actually intimately related to us, the three Buddhas of activity who guard humanity and use the triangles network in cases of dire emergency. We can understand that we may be courting exactly such a case. So their energies will descend into all the countries, into all the triangles, and we probably won't know how, because these are extraordinary beings who were actually planetary logoi in the previous major solar system and are now sacrificing themselves to Sanat Kumara and his projects. But let's remember that our salvation in emergency moments may well depend on them and on the three lords of liberation who whose names we might think of as liberty, fraternity, and equality, representing activities during the various decanates of the Aquarian age. Okay. So let us together um, draw the energy from the solar plexus to the heart center. And we find the heart center so indispensable in creating the necessary harmony for true cooperation, selfless cooperation, without which humanity goes down. So we keep that heart center energy going constantly, at least through our imagination, because excuse me, because it assures us that we will cast aside, cast out our selfishness. Trust. Let us feel the trust pour from the heart of the group to all the members of the conference. Trust to all the members of the conference. They have to know that there are millions of people behind their efforts, even billions, and we can support them. They may not know we are doing that, but we are. And then we draw energy from the heart to our head center. There is a great lotus at the top of the head, and its most central part is a replica of the zodiac, the 12 petaled zodiac, which is foundational in the head center. And we hold our consciousness steadily in the light of the soul. So it's not only love that we send and support, and trust and belief in the strength of the delegates, but we send light and power. We send the will to act selflessly. We send that. And every day we keep it in mind. It's not for us business as usual. We are now, in a way, we are, as they say, playing for keeps. Playing for something final and determinative of humanity's future. So the will comes forth. And the love. And of course, the intelligence is already there. The Antakarana visually is extending through the group of, or should we say the pool of energies gathered around the mental unit. And it leads into the spiritual triad. It helps us touch that area of the triad where true humility can be ours and escape from glamour and the dispelling of illusion. We project along the Antakarana the especially colored by indigo Antakarana, we project the white light. And it will lead us into the triad where the consciousness and powers of the masters reside. And eventually towards the monad itself. So in our own words, let us offer ourselves to the soul for cooperation and to the true ego, which is the spiritual triad. Let us offer our group to Christ and his hierarchy, so that we can be used properly, however limited our capacities may seem to us. We'll do that. We are in all of this work, practical, esoterically inclined work. We are servants of the Christ, who symbolically sits at the right hand of God in the seventh heaven, which is found on the logoic plane. It is the great Lord whom we serve. And he wants the salvation of humanity and its elevation. He does not want the destruction, the return to the foundation of the human race. Probably long ago, in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he accepted the will of God with, "Not my will, Father, but thine be done," he probably saw his role as the Savior for many centuries and the teacher. And that's why it's so important to read the reappearance of the Christ every year. Well, we can also summon the angelic kingdom, because Christ comes with his angels, and different angels accompany the work of different masters. Master DK probably is working with a medical deva of the color green. Jesus, now at Shohan, is working with violet devas, and Master Kutumi with rose color and blue, and Master Moria with flame-colored devas. But it's important to think that in this task of salvaging humanity, that the Deva kingdom of Michael, representing Leo, Uriel, representing the blinding light of Taurus, Gabriel, representing the illumination of the announcer, and then finally Raphael, the Aquarian healer, all are indispensable now. Their presence on the fixed cross where most of us find ourselves, that presence is indispensable now. So they come forth, we imagine, to protect the integrity of the consciousness of the delegates to the big United Nations Climate Change Conference. And we imagine all these protective forces helping the delegates and the countries they represent make the correct decisions and help them actually take action instead of just sounding high-sounding platitudes. And we pray for the success of the conference. Action must be taken. And we invoke the great sources to, according to the science of impression, make their impressions upon the consciousness of those assembled. It can be done. So angels, members of hierarchy, masters, Chohans, members of the council chamber, whose theme is right relations, we imagine them all at work now. We human beings, we're just very fallible and frail and relatively weak, but we have it within us now to rise to the occasion and do something significant. Humanity is sending up a voiceless appeal. It's an invocation, but it is not articulated. It's more like a prayer. But those who know can use the great invocative words of power. We aspirants, we disciples, we can use what the science of occultism has given us, the great words of power, who will reach the ears of those who can intervene, who do not want to be worshipped. They want to be invoked so that they may be evoked. And if we are members of the new group of world servers, well, we can be even that much more effective. Okay. And so a great healing of our planet has to occur. We are participating in that healing, every one of us, in everything we think, in everything we do, in the mantras we conceive, in the prayers we conceive. This is, my friends, a true crisis. No matter how the selfish ones may frame it, as if it's a hoax or means nothing. It just means that they are, as DK said to one of his students, you are working through such a very small personality. But we can do better, and we will. So the good will emerge. We have faith in that. And the world leaders and delegates who have assembled will make the decisions which are for the good of all humanity. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh. Well, friends, that's going to be it. We do everything we can, esoterically, finally to bring the great love wisdom ray, the indigo ray, into humanity's affairs. And when that happens, we will truly be welcoming the new age, and humanity will be um, elevated to a new position in the hierarchy of being. We have gathered in your name, Lord Maitreya. Be with us. And his name means the welfare of all. I think, friends, that will be what we can do tonight. He for whom the whole world waits has said that whatsoever shall be asked in his name, and with faith in the response, we'll see it accomplished. We have to have faith even as the Christ has had faith, even as the initiate Jesus demonstrated faith. So often it was said at healings, your faith has made you whole. So let us insert ourselves in the process, and with love and with will and with light, and with proper direction and directing of energies, we will achieve and help others to achieve on our way to becoming a sacred planet, which we are inwardly already. And since I do not have the music, I simply invite you to participate in some of the many ways that we work on behalf of the Christ and his hierarchy, on behalf of esoteric education, on behalf of deep psychological understanding, psycho-spiritual understanding. There may be flames, but the flames cannot be the flames of destruction. They have to be the flames of purification. And with our help, it can proceed. So we all, Tui and I, and the members of the communications team, BL, Joe, Michael, Mikhail, wish you all the very best. And that will be the end of our work for tonight. Thank you for being here with us. Many blessings to all of you. And as DK said, finally, work, my brothers.